The Armed Forces Initiative, our goal is to get veterans and active duty and Gold Star families in the outdoors and help us apply a new mission. That mission's conservation, teaching guys and gals they can use their skills to have a positive impact on our community, our public lands, our public waters, while also teach them how to hunt. If a guy transfers for a different base, helping him or her get into that state and get hunting. That's our mission, and we're really happy with the work we're doing, and we're doing some really good conservation projects as well.
Team New England with the Fallen Outdoors, and what we're doing is we're here to raise money for veterans to go hunting, fishing, camping, hiking. If it's outdoors, somebody in our organization does it, and the reason we're able to do that is we call them hometown trips. It'll be an individual person. Let's say they've got a boat and their boat seats 4. They go out and then they bring 3 other veterans with them. And our organization caters to everybody from every branch of service, including Gold Star families, active duty reserve components, and National Guard. And every one of us is a volunteer, and every staffer that you meet is a veteran, him or herself. We try and keep it exclusive to the veteran community. And the reason we do all this is to combat the 22-a-day veteran suicide rate. So what we're trying to do is reestablish the camaraderie that people felt while they were in the service after they exit service. And the same thing with Gold Star families. If you're a member of one of those families, your family members have paid the ultimate price, and we want to make sure that we give back to those individuals as well.
We've been busy. So our New York chapter, right around when that merger happened, they asked us to help a bunch of paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division up at West Point in New York, helping train the new cadets, and they wanted to do some morale events. So we took 10 paratroopers from the 82nd intro fly fishing on the Farmington River about 2 weeks ago. We got really lucky. All the river and flooding, we had to postpone a week, and the conditions just angled out right. We found a great little pocket of cool water, and it was a really successful event. The week after that, Raphael, my XO, he's the right-hand man of the organization, him and Kevin, who's our Massachusetts liaison, partnered with the Connecticut River Conservatory, and they did a water chestnut cleanup in the Connecticut River. And they pulled about 3 to 4 truck beds of water chestnut out of the river.
And then we had a nursing home in Vermont reach out to us, and they had a 96 years old World War II vet that just wanted to go hunting one more time. And they reached out and they were like, hey, do you guys have the ability to take him out? Maybe he sits in a side-by-side, and he just wants to go one more time. And of course, we were like, oh, we can do way better than that. So we've got one of the tracked wheelchairs that allows us to take our disabled brothers and sisters out.
Yep.
And we were able to get a 96-year-old vet out into the field again. And it was not one of those where it's like sitting out of a side-by-side. We were actually able to get him into a blind. We were really fortunate. We worked out a deal with a farmer up there that allowed us to build a blind that was wheelchair accessible.
Yep.
We made sure that we were able to get him in there.
New England is home to some of the most iconic hunting, fishing, and conservation opportunities in the world. Striped bass, whitetails in the big woods and suburbs, native brook trout, Maine moose, and the list goes on. Alongside these opportunities is a world-class, local-driven outdoor industry that is honed into the unique needs of New England hunting and angling. The Hunt Fish New England podcast brings you the men, women, and lore behind this region's incredible outdoor industry. This is hunting. This is fishing. This is New England.
Am I supposed to hear myself?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Can you hear you?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it.
It's interesting.
It's like when you set up your voicemail the first time.
Yeah, but it's like you watch people do podcasts and you don't know I always assume these were to hear you talk. So that's interesting.
It's for both, to like gauge your volume and all that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Cody, it's good to meet you in person, man.
I know, this is awesome. That's what the cool thing about coming to these types of events is you get to meet so many people. Like AJ from Hunt Light, I've talked to AJ probably close to 2-3 hours on the phone, and I've actually never got to meet him face to face. So to come here and do that is really awesome.
That's a good reminder. I got to go see him.
Yeah, no, he's got a great setup over there. He's letting people try on his stuff, and it's impressive. And he's doing much like you're doing, which thank you for doing that 10% back of sales to the AFI and Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. Just really appreciate it, and he's doing a big event over there for that.
Of course, yeah. Hopefully we can start getting some merch out there to people and
definitely
get some money
Thanks
back
to
to you
my
guys.
I'm racking it, and
cool,
I'm
man.
like, go check them out.
Yeah. So our merch line, just so everyone knows, we're here at Huntstock 2023. We are releasing our merch line. It's all USA made products, printed locally here. So
Which I love
we're
that.
keeping it local.
The tag is clear and you can see it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I felt like a hypocrite. The first hats we got were made in not America.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can I have this message and have this be my product?
It's tough to find product in the United States, period.
Yep. This guy Greg, who I work with, he's at the Apparel Project out of Westboro. He's just got a great catalog of options. So if anybody's looking for a good local guy who has American-made products to print on, he's the guy.
That's good. That's good to know, especially as we start trying to get into some New England-specific stuff. I'll definitely reach out to you for that.
Cool, man. Cool. All right. So, Cody, we did a podcast before. It's good to meet you in person.
Yeah.
Also known as Fonj.
Yep, that's the name.
For people who don't know you, introduce yourself and who you're here representing today.
Thanks. Well, I'm Cody Fondry. My nickname's Fonj. I'm the when I last time you left, my region was just New England, but now I'm the New York and New England regional coordinator for Backcountry Hunters and Anglers Armed Forces Initiative. I know that's a mouthful. We just call it the AFI. So my job is basically I coordinate all the activities of the AFI in those states. And the Armed Forces Initiative, our goal is to get veterans and active duty and Gold Star families in the outdoors and help us apply a new mission. That mission's conservation, teaching guys and gals they can use their skills to have a positive impact on our community, our public lands, our public waters, while also teach them how to hunt. If a guy transfers for a different base, helping him or her get into that state and get hunting. That's our mission, and we're really happy with the work we're doing, and we're doing some really good conservation projects as well.
And you mentioned AJ from Hunt Light.
Yeah.
And we're trying to recruit him into AFI.
Yeah, no, AJ's fully on board. AJ's a veteran. He's got a great veteran-owned business, and we love to see that. Again, made in America product like we're talking about. Yeah, AJ's on board, and over the past few months, we've had a lot of people, thanks to coming on podcasts like yours, and just getting out there and being involved in our community. A lot more folks have reached out to us and joined the team.
Awesome. What's been going on since we talked last? We talked earlier in the spring.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have been up to some good stuff since.
We've been busy. So our New York chapter, right around when that merger happened, they asked us to help a bunch of paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division up at West Point in New York, helping train the new cadets. And they wanted to do some morale events. So we took 10 paratroopers from the 82nd intro fly fishing on the Farmington River about 2 weeks ago. We got really lucky. All the river and flooding, we had to postpone a week, and the conditions just angled out right. We found a great little pocket of cool water, and it was a really successful event. The week after that, Raphael, my XO, he's the right-hand man of the organization, him and Kevin, who's our Massachusetts liaison, partnered with the Connecticut River Conservatory, and they did a water chestnut cleanup in the Connecticut River. And they pulled about three to four truck beds of water chestnut out of the river.
What's the deal with the water chestnut?
It's an invasive species.
Yeah.
It just gets in there and especially with this high water we've been having, especially in that it's basically from a Hartford to Glassbury section of the Connecticut River. It's just really eating up the environment. It's not, the native fish really don't, they don't mesh well with it. Mm-hmm. So they went in there with kayaks and canoes and were able to pull all that stuff out. And that's one of the great things about the AFI is we got guys who are motivated to take part of a mission and get that. We give them an order like, hey, be here at 6 o'clock. We're going to pull weeds for this. This is going to be our intended outcome. And those people, veterans, active duty folks, a lot of folks came up from the naval base in Groton to take part in that event. So an hour drive to help clean up our environment. They were really pumped about that. And then in October, we have a grouse camp that's going to be at Wild Roots Farm. And that's going to be an intro to grouse hunting with some survival skills. John, who I mentioned to you last time, it's his farm. He's going to be helping do that with Spencer, our Vermont rep. And then that gets us, we got one more event in December, and that gets us through the rest of the year.
Incredible. What do you guys going on here in Huntstock?
Huntstock, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers has a tent when they're kind of getting our mission out there. And it's really good to be in person talking to folks so we can explain to them what BHA's mission is, and then we're helping supporting that mission, but we're also getting to talk to people about AFI. And my favorite part about this is getting to network. I get to go over to V3 Gun Dogs and see Jeremy, who's the owner, who I've known for a long time. I got to go see AJ, and basically we're just walking around building connections so we can help. Everyone's got that same goal. We want to enjoy these lands and everything we have for as long as possible. So everyone's kind of immersion and coming together, and wow, we can work together and get that done.
Awesome. Not to branch off from what you guys do.
Branch off.
But how freaking amazing is Huntstock?
This is my first time coming. I was really fortunate. My schedule recently changed at work, so I have weekends off now. So I was like, oh, great, I can go. Checked with the wife, and we shot up here. This is so cool. Like, you got Sig Sauer here. Like, Sig's a huge a huge name. Like, they're the lead right now, probably the leader in the gun industry, and they're
right
here.
there.
I'm gonna go talk to them. You got Kuyu's here, Trophy Line. There's Hunt Light. You got so many cool companies that are here. A lot of local New England specific brands too. I know that I saw Stagger down there. I want to go check out their stuff because they've been on social media a lot. V3 Gun Dogs, based in Connecticut. Great dog. I can't say enough about Jeremy's work. He's been on Facebook. I've known Jeremy for a long time, and you've just seen that business grow. He's at all the conventions, and I've never heard a bad thing about the dogs he trains. So it's super cool to be here, see everybody at the seminars, and get to see you. Like, this is an awesome event. I'm going to be back every year now.
Same, yeah. And I'm just very thankful to, I think that's Pat talking right now, to Pat Burns and Pat Guyette for putting this on. This is just, they put their vision to life. This is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like we talked about in the last one, you don't see stuff like this in New England.
No.
You don't. And to see something like this is awesome.
Yeah, so, and I'm glad you got weekends off now, which
Yeah,
probably means more hunting opportunity
Yeah,
for you.
it hopefully means that hopefully we can meet up and do some hunting this fall.
Yes.
But, thank you for what you're doing. Like, when I talk about, like, all these New England located businesses, like, what you're doing is a huge service because you're getting a lot of businesses that necessarily wouldn't have they're starting up, they're mom and pops. We're not really in the mecca of hunting out here. We're in, like, everyone forgets about us in New England, and you're out here really spreading the message, and thank you for doing that. I think a lot of small businesses here are definitely benefiting from all these hours you're putting in. So thank you.
Yeah, and I acknowledge, we're not the biggest podcast out there, but what I've noticed too is if we get a small mom and pop or people who are not really big into social media, if I get them on the podcast, it's almost like practice for them for when they have a bigger opportunity. So it's just been great in so many ways.
No, thank you for doing it. It's really awesome, and I can't wait to see where yours can. Like, everything here is growing. This New England hunting community is growing and growing rapidly, and I think you're at the spearhead of that. And to see it, I'm really excited to see when we're sitting down Huntstock 5 years from now. Like, it's gonna be like a full booth with like the floors and everything. And I'm really excited to see that.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
You got the duck camp coming.
Yeah, we do have duck camp in December. It's gonna be it's really like a flagship event for us. We're gonna take 10 veterans, active duty or Gold Star family members who are gonna apply from around the country, and we're gonna teach them some leadership stuff to help build the next generation of AFI leaders. But we're also gonna give them a real good intro to duck hunting with all sorts of experts we're going to bring in from MASH Fish and Wildlife. Great conversation with them yesterday. They had to put face-to-face. Email chains get locked up. Those guys are like, oh, yeah, we'll be there, no problem, if we can be there. The Duck Republic guys from out of Massachusetts had never heard of them before, but we're right next to each other. Now we're connected, followed on the socials, and now we're talking about seeing what we can do for some duck events later. So duck camp's going to be a really big event for us. We're looking at 4 days of hunting. We got 4 boats. It's going to be on Plum Island in that national refuge there. We're going to take advantage of it, counting down the days. So.
Nice, man. So in terms of AFI, how do people get involved in AFI? We talked about it on the pod before, but for people who didn't tune into that one, how can people get involved?
So a bunch of different ways. You can go on Backcountry Hunters and Anglers.com and sign up for the military membership. Make sure you select military. It's $25. And every few months I get a generated list of emails, and I reach out to those folks. You can follow us on our social. So it's BHA_New England _AFI. And message us. A lot of folks who've gotten involved, they just messaged us on Instagram, and then we've gotten them involved. And then you can also message me. It's Fonge in the Field on Instagram, and that's how people get involved. It's the crazy thing about modern technology. It's just a message away, and that's how you can do it.
Yeah, and just to give some context to why I was laughing when you were giving the handle, you were getting some banter because we were like, what comes first? Is it the AFI, the BHA, the New England?
The underscores always mess me up because it's like all the social, you got your social media handle.
Yeah,
it's just
tricky.
So many of them now. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's one of those things we never thought about, like when we were growing up, that would be a thing.
Yeah. It was funny. So we're doing a raffle here, so people follow us on Instagram. We'll put them in for a raffle ticket. And one guy goes, what is chunt fishing in New England? And I'm like, yo, that's an @ symbol, dude. So it's just, you're not the only one. Don't worry about it. All right, great. So Fonge in the Field, again, BHA _New England _AFI. Is that a chopper?
It is a chopper. I was looking too. I was like, we got a helo in the area. I love that noise, but it's one of those little like pod ones. So
Cool.
yeah.
All right, anything else you want to plug about AFI or what you guys are
No,
up to?
and just like, this is a cool event. Thanks for doing what you're doing. You're great to meet you in person.
Yes.
You're a friend to the AFI, a friend to me, and I'm really thankful for all the work you're doing.
Yeah, and thank you for what you do.
No.
Truthfully. And thanks for kicking us off here. This is our first pod, so
Really?
this is
my first time being hooked up. I don't know if that recorded earlier, but like, this is wild. Like, I had a fun, and I look forward for us doing these for many more years. So
same here, man. All right, Cody, thanks a bunch, man.
awesome. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, we can just hop right into it.
Okay.
All right, why don't you introduce yourself and who you're here representing today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So my name's Dagan. I'm the Connecticut assistant lead and one of the assistant leads for Team New England with the Fallen Outdoors. And what we're doing is we're here to raise money for veterans to go hunting, fishing, camping, hiking. If it's outdoors, somebody in our organization does it. And the reason we're able to do that is we call them hometown trips. So it'll be an individual person. Let's say they've got a boat and their boat seats 4. They go out and then they bring 3 other veterans with them. And our organization caters to everybody from every branch of service, including Gold Star families, active duty reserve components, and National Guard. Mm-hmm. And the way we really view everything is if you have served or are serving, you've already paid. So we ask that you don't pay for anything. You just join the organization, and we exist only on Facebook is our only actual location. We have no brick and mortar stores. And every one of us is a volunteer, and every staffer that you meet is a veteran, him or herself. We try and keep it exclusive to the veteran community. And the reason we do all this is to combat the 22-a-day veteran suicide rate. So what we're trying to do is reestablish the camaraderie that people felt while they were in the service after they exit service. And the same thing with Gold Star families. If you're a member of one of those families, your family members have paid the ultimate price, and we want to make sure that we give back to those individuals as well. And so we had a really interesting event happen, 2 in the past year really. So we had a member in North Carolina who was going through a lot of personal stuff, and we were able to get them help at very late at night, early into the morning hours, where we were able to make sure that somebody was able to go there, talk to them, everything else. And then we had a nursing home in Vermont reach out to us. And they had a 96 years old World War II vet that just wanted to go hunting one more time. And they reached out and they were like, hey, do you guys have the ability to take him out? Maybe he sits in a side-by-side and he just wants to go one more time. And of course, we were like, oh, we can do way better than that. So we've got one of the tracked wheelchairs that allows us to take our disabled brothers and sisters out.
Yep.
And we were able to get a 96-year-old vet out into the field again. And it was not one of those where it's like sitting out of a side-by-side. We were actually able to get him into a blind. We were really fortunate. We worked out a deal with a farmer up there that allowed us to build a blind that was wheelchair accessible.
Yep.
And we made sure that we were able to get him in there. So,
wow, what a story.
yeah, we really try. And then the other thing is if you join and you don't see a trip in your area, one of the things that we encourage people to do is to just post. Hey, new to this area, got stationed here, got orders here, family moved here. Is there anyone near here that I can reach out to? And most of the time when you do it, within about a day, there will be 5 or 6 responses of, hey man, hit me up, love to go out with you. One of the guys that's pretty active in Connecticut was one of the founders of the Connecticut Delta Waterfowl chapter, so he's always about it. And then our team lead for Team New England is his wife calls him bird brain. So he's eaten up with waterfowl hunting of any kind of a sort.
Cool. So are you guys doing hunts all throughout each season?
Yep. So our goal is we try and make sure we do at a minimum 1 hunt a month per each one of our states. Mm-hmm. We try in Connecticut and Rhode Island to do a little bit better than that. So generally speaking, we do about every other week in each state. So to make sure that we're getting everyone the opportunity to go out and hunt and fish. And we've gotten really lucky with some big donations from some charter boats where we're able to do sometimes 50, 60 people fishing trips offshore. So
wow.
we just had one earlier this week where some of the guys up in New Hampshire and one of the other all veterans organizations up there they're called the Honor Bear. So they reached out to us and they were kind enough to donate a lot of seats on that fishing trip. And the guys had a great time. My dad went, he was one of the winners, and he reeled in a 10-foot shark right
no
off
way.
of it. Yep. And then he keeps track of everything. He caught 31 fish in the 12-hour trip, and he brought back around 40 pounds of fish. So it was a good day.
That's great. What of the men and women who've participated in these events that you guys hold? What's been their feedback to you?
We have very astounding positive feedback. So most people are just really grateful. And the thing that I enjoy, I very rarely even get a line wet when we're going, is just walking around, talking to people, meeting people. And that's one of the big pieces of feedback. The other gentleman who's here with me today, that was one of the big things we talked about on the drive up, was he said the biggest thing he missed about the military service was the camaraderie that happened. And he said he works for the VA. And then he said he hasn't really felt that anywhere else until he joined the Fallen Outdoors. And then he moved up because he wanted to give back to the organization and not just feel like he was taking from it. So we've got an overwhelming sense of people that really enjoy what we do, that really enjoy going out, and that make it, I mean, they travel from 5, 6, 7 states away to make sure that they get a chance to go.
That's incredible. We were talking off air. You were saying that when you go out, you know, you're not getting paid to do this at all. It's your time that you're dedicating to it, not just the time on the hunt, but all the pre-work and post-work. Tell us about a trip that you went on, or anything you've been directly involved with in addition to the fishing you just told about.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that kind of separates us is everybody's volunteer, from the lowest level staffer that came on this morning all the way up through the president of the organization. It's 100% volunteer. And the way we're able to do that is we call them hometown trips. So like my truck seats 4. So when I go out, specifically, I'm eating up with pheasant hunting. I've got a black lab. I'm incredibly biased, and I want to apologize to anyone that's a fan of German short hairs that's listening. But we always try and fill the trucks. That's the goal. Fill the trucks, fill the boats, fill the blinds. And especially because the way I see it is I'm already paying. I'm already going. Mm-hmm. I've already invested the money. So why not take somebody who's been less fortunate or just not had the opportunity?
Yep.
And that's one of the other things that we love to do is we have veterans that are maybe they want to get into it. They've always wanted to get into it, but they've never had the chance. We really encourage them to join too, because it's a Facebook page. And then they can reach out, and somebody in that organization or group will kind of take them under their wing and mentor them to make sure that they can legally and ethically learn how to hunt and fish. That's one of the things is we really appreciate being able to give back not only to the veteran community but to the ethical hunters as well, and we get to teach that. One of the things we did last year is we do a lot of waterfowl hunts in Rhode Island, and Rhode Island's we have a lot of run-in with the game wardens just because there's not a lot of hunting that happens there. And so every time they come out, they've started to get to know us, right? And we get checked, and nobody gets a ticket or in trouble because we do things legally, and we get compliments even from them. And they're like, hey, we really appreciate what you guys are doing. It's always great when we get to come out and not give a ticket and find out that everyone's having a great day and they're doing things legally. So that's one of the things we take a lot of pride in, is making sure that we're not only connecting veterans, but we're doing it in a way that's within the confines of the law and is ethical as well.
So you'll help people get like their hunter's ed or something if they need it for a state?
Yeah, absolutely.
At least tell them like how to go about doing it.
If nothing else, we'll provide the resources of like, hey, like, so Connecticut is one of those states. Again, like I said, I'm the assistant team lead for, but it can be kind of a daunting task, even for me coming in from Virginia, where I took my hunter's ed course when I was 5 years old, and have never worried about it. I didn't have to take it even to get a concealed carry permit. And then to come to Connecticut, and it was daunting, even as a lifetime hunter. I mean, by the time I got here, I'd been hunting for the better part of 25 years. And it was a process to get specifically the bow hunter safety course, because I didn't even know where to start. And I kind of barreled my way through it and called Fish and Game and just worked until I was able to get in. And that's one of the things that we're also willing to do, is if you just go on there and you say that you're new, if nothing else, somebody will post a link and say like, hey, this is a website you need to go to. This is how you sign up. Most of the time it's a little bit more than that. It'll be a phone number attached to that link of like, hey, give me a call when you're at your computer and you're able to log in. I'll walk you through how to sign up. And that's one of the things that we've been really fortunate is to get not only veterans that have been hunting and fishing back together, but even to bring more people into the community, because there's a lot of veterans out there that, maybe they don't hunt or fish. Maybe they didn't have the opportunities to grow up, and we don't want that to exclude them from what we do. And we do a lot more than hunting and fishing. So like, I know we were very fortunate. Vermont 2 years ago, a ski resort up there donated like a 3-day, 2-night, all expenses paid trip. So we were able to give that away to one of our members.
That's outstanding. We've talked with some other organizations, like we talked to Primitive Patriot, we've talked to AFI from BHA. It seems like you all have a similar, message and a similar mission. Do you all partner at all to get some events done?
We do.
Okay, great.
We make sure that, again, it's all inclusive, so we don't ever feel like we're stealing anybody from their organizations, and they don't feel like we're doing that either, because everything we do is for the good of veterans and not for our own personal gain. So we like to welcome anybody who wants to get in. We just say join. And then, like, we've been talking to the guys with the New England team right next to us all day, and they joined us and we joined them so far today. It was the first time we met them. And then as far as like the BHA, AFI, those guys are doing some really great stuff in Connecticut with like their water chestnut removal.
That
like
they just 3 truckloads or something.
It was awesome. Yeah. So that's one of the things I'm working on getting into, is being one of their staffers as well, because it's
nice.
They do a lot, and we all have the same common goal. So we work together as much as we can. Like we work very closely with Honor Bear out of New Hampshire. They help out with us a ton, and we try and make sure that we pass that on as best we can.
I love that. And it's just another sign of the camaraderie between the organizations. If people want to donate or get involved, how do they get in touch with you all?
The Facebook page. So we're with Team East Coast. It's broken up into different regions. Yep. So specifically, we're Team New England, but we fall under the guise of Team East Coast. So anyone who wanted to join or get involved would just go into the Facebook search bar and type in the Fallen Outdoors East Coast All Veterans page. And then it's some pretty simple questions asking, like, what was your MOS, what were the years you served, and did you get out under honorable circumstances or a general discharge for medical reasons. Then if the answers are yes, it goes to admin approval, and normally within about an hour, people have been approved. And sometimes it's faster depending on if the admins are busy, because like we said, everybody's volunteer, so they work day jobs.
Sure. All right, anything else you'd like to mention about Fallen Outdoors?
The only thing is, if you're listening to this and you're a veteran, we really, really want those guys to join. So more importantly than raising money or anything is getting more people into the organization and making sure that they have that support network to fall back on. If we could choose every day that we come to these events to raise $100,000 or have 5 vets join, we'd much rather have the 5 vets. And if you've got a story or whatever that that the organization or anything like that's helped you, that's really where we pride ourselves on, is we'd much rather have those stories than even the memories and the photos hanging on the walls or antlers on the walls.
Yeah, all right. On behalf of all of us at Huntfish New England, thank you for your service, and in addition to your volunteerism at Fallen Outdoors. All right, guys, check them out, the Fallen Outdoors. And the name of the East Coast team again?
East Coast All Veterans.
East Coast All Veterans. And that's on Facebook.
Yep, and then if people are listening and they're not a vet, we have just the regular Fallen Outdoors page, which is just the Fallen Outdoors, and it's a support page. So you'll be able to reach out if you've got a boat and you want to make sure that you're getting vets out hunting or fishing, or you just want to see what we're doing. All of the after action reports from all of our hunts and our fishing trips and everything goes on that page as well. It's kind of like our bragging board of what we've been doing.
Good, man. Well, hey, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
All right, guys, check them out. Thank you.